More backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video
caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
Woke up that night from a blackout to find myself having sex with my own father.
You all know Ashton Kutcher as the charismatic actor and advocate, famous for exposing the dirty secrets of the Hollywood elite. But will a recent letter sent to the judge of his co-star Danny's trial change your mind about him? Grab onto your seats for a jaw-dropping revelation, folks, because Ashton's true identity might not be exactly what he makes it out to be. Now let's dive headfirst into the deets of this Hollywood drama. Los Angeles judge Charlene F. Olmedo dropped the hammer yesterday, delivering a verdict that's sending shockwaves through Tinseltown. Actor Danny Masterson has been sentenced to a staggering 30 years to life in the slammer for his heinous crimes.
Danny Masterson was sentenced to 30 years.
This comes after a riveting trial in May, where a relentless jury found Masterson guilty. His accusers had bravely spoken out, alleging he assaulted them at his Hollywood Hills residence, all while fueling their ordeal with alcohol. In 2020, Danny was arrested and charged with 3 different counts of assault involving 3 different women. Danny Masterson's SA case has set the town ablaze with gossip, and it's thrown Ashton Kutcher into a whirlwind of emotions, leaving him in a rather sticky situation when it comes to his former That 70s Show co-star. The Hollywood heartthrob is torn between loyalty to his friend and mentor and empathy for the victims. Surprisingly, the days leading up to Masterson's sentencing saw a tidal wave of support crashing in from unexpected places. More than 50 people penned heartfelt letters to Judge Charlene F. Olmedo, rallying behind the disgraced actor. What's even more astounding? The powerhouse couple Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis lent their voices to the chorus of support. In her letter, Kunis went all in, wholeheartedly vouching for Masterson's exceptional character, while Kutcher, co-founder of Thorn, a non-profit organization working to defend children from abuse, sang his praises as a role model and a positive influence. Kutcher even dropped a bombshell, saying, "Over our 25-year relationship, I don't recall him ever lying to me." A bit hypocritical, wouldn't you think? One user on Twitter said, "Really? When Ashton has a nonprofit dedicated to not the exact same thing, but it's adjacent. That's weird." And another one went on to say, Ashton Kutcher co-founding a campaign to end but writing letters to support for his bestie is such an encapsulation of the way people love to fight against their imaginary idea of what abuse is, but not what it actually is. Ashton Kutcher, in his letter, went so far to say, "While I'm aware that the judgment has been cast as guilty on 2 counts of rape by force and the victims have a great desire for justice, I hope that my testament to his character is taken into consideration in sentencing. I do not believe he is an ongoing harm to society, and having his daughter raised without a present father would be a tertiary injustice in and of itself." Thankfully, though, despite the star-studded letters of support, Judge Charlene F. Olmedo remained resolute during the hearing, giving the victims the justice they deserve. With unwavering conviction, she addressed Masterson directly, saying, "Mr. Masterson, you are not the victim here. Your actions 20 years ago took away another person's voice and choice. One way or another, you will have to come to terms with your prior actions and their consequences." That left no room for doubt. After the last trial concerning Masterson ended with a mistrial, with the jury unable to reach a consensus about the 3 counts against the actor, Ashton addressed the issue by saying, "I wholesale feel for anybody who feels like they were violated in any way," adding that he hoped Masterson would be found innocent of the charges brought against him. "I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. I'm not the DA. I'm not the victim. And I'm not the accused," Kutcher said diplomatically. After the comedy actor who was once the face of Stephen Hyde was sentenced behind bars, he blew one last kiss to his wife of 12 years. Bijou Phillips, who put on a pair of sunglasses to hide her own heartbreak. She quickly hid all emotion and walked out of the courtroom without a single word. As a trusted friend of hers has revealed, the thought of having to solo parent their daughter has hit her like a ton of bricks. Things are tough, even with her friends trying to support her through it all. Phillips has her own tragic experiences of living separated from her birth parents, rigorous custody battles, drug addiction, and the American foster care system. It must be devastating for her not to be able to give her daughter any protection from such harsh realities. Bijou and her two half-sisters, Mackenzie and China, have all sought treatment in a rehab center for substance abuse and anxiety. In a shocking revelation in 2009, Mackenzie revealed that she'd been a victim of an incestuous relationship with her father since she was 19.
I woke up that night from a blackout to find myself having sex with my own father.
That began with him raping her the night of her wedding. She later said that she'd been forced to have an abortion, since it wasn't sure if the baby was her father's or her husband's at the time. With so many messed up things surrounding her family, her husband's sentence must have broken Phillips from inside. The three victims had met with Danny through the Church of Scientology and were suppressed from reporting him to the LAPD, as he was a lifelong member of the church. One of them approached Leanne Remini, a former Scientologist who was then also working on a television series, speaking out against the Church of Scientology. Leanne advised her to file a report, also met with Detective Reyes of the Robbery Homicide Division, who was assigned this case and prompted her to do the right thing. When two more victims came forward with similar allegations, Danny's agency finally dropped him, and he was fired from his Netflix show The Ranch. Three of the accusers also filed a lawsuit against the Church of Scientology, claiming that they were stalked after they filed their police reports. Once the gavel came down and Masterson's sentence was sealed, Leah Remini wasted no time in showing her unwavering support for his victims. She didn't mince words, expressing her profound relief in her words. This dangerous rapist will be off the streets and unable to violently assault and rape women with the help of Scientology. Fans found it weird that Ashton Kutcher continued to support Danny despite his very open association with the Church of Scientology, which is known for enabling criminals and gaslighting vulnerable people. Some netizens go as far as to call it a cult and a terrorist organization. The Church of Scientology protects and kills dogs with rat poison. It's not just a cult, it's a terrorist organization, and it needs to start being treated as such. Ashton Kutcher is known for exposing Hollywood's darkest secrets, shedding light on the exploitation and trafficking within the industry in spite of backlash and attempts to silence him from influential figures. Still, he remained resolute in advocating for change and accountability for people like Harvey Weinstein, and inspired other people to do the same. So fans think it's hypocritical of Ashton to be supporting a predator despite being the co-founder of a campaign against trafficking and of children. Many theories and speculations have sprung up on the internet since, explaining his actions. One controversial theory is that Ashton is part of the same evil group of influential elites he seemingly exposes and hates. That he's a gatekeeper to the secret world that does shady things behind the scenes, all while pretending to be a friend of the masses. This way, he would be able to avoid suspicion as he continues to enjoy the privileges of being part of the underground Hollywood scene. With their character letters having become public and a huge backlash from fans, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis know that they are standing on thin ice. They've just released an apology video, reaching out to victims and their fans, attempting